It's time to welcome the Wine Ladies with Georgia and Suzanne. An entertaining hour topped up with great ideas about wine, where to dine, anything and everything to do with the vine. Great conversation, lots of laughter, guests from all walks of life, food and wine, music, art, sports, and much more, all on the Wine Ladies.
Hi everybody, it's us, the Wine Ladies.
I'm Georgia.
And I'm Suzanne, and welcome to the Wine Ladies, one sip at a time. Thank you so much for joining us all this afternoon.
Hello everybody, we hope you're having a fantastic week so far. Now Suzanne and I are feeling a little bit in a celebratory mood, I would say. Our topic today is about one of our most favorite wines that, as far as we're concerned, is enjoyed not nearly often enough, and that is champagne.
We are going to be celebrating National Champagne Day, which is taking place on October 26th. We can hardly wait.
And you know, this is quite a big deal, this National Champagne Day. Now in its third year, people worldwide, they're tweeting, they're blogging, they're planning their champagne parties, and they're all getting ready to raise their glasses, raise their flutes, to make a wonderful toast with the quintessential wine of celebration and good cheer.
Well, speaking about raising our glasses, why don't we raise our flutes and celebrate National Champagne Day?
Toast to National Champagne Day. Now we'd like to welcome Sarah Fazio. Sarah is a sales manager over at Noble Estates Wine and Spirits, and Sarah is here representing the incredible champagne house of
Laurent Perrier.
I was going to say Saint Laurent Perrier. A beautiful champagne house indeed. They have been making champagne for 200 years.
That's a lot of champagne.
Founded in 1812.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Sarah, great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for bringing some of this wonderful champagne with you.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here.
We love the pink champagne.
Me too. It's, you know what, it's gorgeous when you see it poured into the flute. It's just beautiful. It's so elegant and timeless.
Absolutely. And you know, Suzanne and I always say that champagne is a wine, like we said at the beginning of the show, should not be reserved for celebration. It goes with everything, any day of the week, any kind of meal, even potato chips or truffle popcorn.
That's right. Absolutely. Can I come over to your house?
Yes. And you agree with that as well, don't you?
Absolutely. You know what I would say is that in North America, we're slowly converting to the rest of the world, where we're not just seeing it as a special occasion drink. It can be drank with an aperitif. It can be drank just on a regular basis, toasting friends in the backyard, just any time of year.
Absolutely. Now, we had a little bit of fun at the beginning of the show. Suzanne,
yes,
why don't you tell us what you demonstrated, Suzanne?
Well, we brought our trusty sabers with us today, and it says here champagne, and I actually sabered a bottle of champagne earlier this afternoon, and we're going to show that a little bit later in the show. And that is, it looks a lot harder than it is to actually do, isn't that correct?
Yes, absolutely. And you know what, the trick really, the trick of sabering is two things. Number one is to make sure that the bottle, the neck of the bottle, is as cold as you can possibly get it. And secondly, you have to locate the seam of the bottle where it's the weakest spot, and you just glide the sword up, and you don't even need the sharp side of the sword. And it's not about brute strength, it's just about the swiftness and being along the right spot, and voila!
There you go.
It was incredible.
It was a lot of fun. You were quite impressed, weren't you?
I was really, really impressed. Very impressed. Glad you were doing it.
Now, you know, we're enjoying our champagne in these beautiful fluted glasses, but I don't know if you know or not, Sarah, but originally, back in the day, champagne used to be served in these kind of glasses, these saucer coupe glasses.
Yes.
And apparently, so the legend goes, that these glasses were fashioned after the breast of someone quite famous.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
And do you know who that might be?
I'm Marilyn Monroe.
No. A little earlier.
Oh, no.
It was the wife of a very famous king, King Louis XVI.
Okay.
Yes.
And it was, okay, so no, who was it?
Marie Antoinette.
Oh, Marie Antoinette.
Okay.
Yes, she said, let them eat cake, but let them drink champagne out of a glass fashioned after her breast as well.
Wow. Okay.
She was quite the colorful lady, I'm sure.
She was, yeah. Didn't she have a very unsavory demise?
Yes, she
You know, the one
guillotined.
that was beheaded like
Yes.
we've done to the champagne?
That's right.
So, Sarah, tell us a little bit about the Champagne House Laurent Perrier.
You know what? First of all, it was founded in 1812, like you had mentioned before. The incredible thing about this particular champagne is it is 100% Pinot Noir grape. So you can see on the color in the glasses, it's a salmon pink color, which is beautiful.
Beautiful, yes.
Which kind of sets it aside from some of the other champagnes that you see out in the market. Just very crisp and refreshing. It's an interesting story about how the name came about. Laurent Perrier, the original owner of the Champagne House, had bestowed the name, or the winery, to another gentleman, and when Eugene Laurent, and when he got married, years later, he and his wife took over the Champagne House for production and ran the whole facility. Once he passed away, his wife then married the two names together of her maiden name and his married name. So, and that's how it became Laurent Perrier Champagne.
And she was quite the successful businesswoman.
Very
I mean,
successful.
she really got the sales going like crazy.
Yes.
She did an unbelievable job.
Really unbelievable job.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is the fact that there is just, even the facility itself, there's a separate area that just manufactures this particular brand. So they really are careful in the way that they pick the fruit, destemming. They were the first to practice stainless steel.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty incredible story.
Yeah.
Now this champagne is about how much at the LCBO?
So this retails in the LCBO for $99.95.
Worth every penny,
every
every
penny.
dollar. It's delicious.
And it really is. The bottle itself is a nice showpiece, even just taken to a
gorgeous.
dinner party. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And ours, unfortunately, has been beheaded.
Well, I guess we'll just have to drink it, right?
That's right.
The whole bottle. Oh dear. And it's 2 glasses each. Now, it's also very important when you speak of champagne is the terroir and the land that it comes from. And of course, this one is a blend of how many different
So
crus?
this comes from 10 different crus,
Wow.
which is pretty incredible. And they always are selecting the best possible grapes from the region. So it's very careful that the production is done immaculately.
Yes, yeah. And when was the first year that the rosé was developed?
1968 was the first vintage of the Cuvée Rosé. So yeah.
And what would we pair? I know that, like we were saying, like champagne goes with everything, but I think certain champagnes tend to go better with certain kinds of foods than more than others, I would think.
For sure.
So have you got
absolutely.
any specialties that you like to serve with the champagne? The
You know
rosé?
what I would say is it's great as an aperitif. It's great with seafood, raw fish, prawns, sushi. It's also great with creamy cheeses and select meats, duck. And actually, the more adventuresome person might even pair it with Asian or Indian foods.
Wow.
Because it can stand up with
sounds
the
good.
with the
really
Pinot Noir
can.
grape. It's more so than like a Blanc de Blanc that's just straight Chardonnay. I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very food friendly.
Lovely. Wow. So Champagne Day. So coming up,
Yes.
what are you doing on Champagne Day?
Champagne Day, I think I'm going to have a bottle of Laurent Perrier with my sister in her house. Yes.
I think we should plan a champagne party.
Yeah, we
actually.
should. We should have a champagne party.
Yeah, maybe we can ask everybody out there. What's your address, Suzanne?
Oh, don't be telling everybody that. Now, the other thing is we want to talk a little bit about the saber, because I know we did, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to show you the sabering of the champagne. But where did this come from? Its roots are in France as well. So what happened was back in the day, the time of Napoleon, when he was traversing the world and conquering Europe, his soldiers would come back in victory and come through the region of Champagne. And of course, the people of Champagne were so thrilled that their soldiers were victorious, and they were handing over bottles of champagne to all of the soldiers. Of course, they were very, very busy, and they had to go on to their next battle. So they did not have time to get off their horses to remove the cork off the champagne bottle. And instead, what they did is they used their swords to remove the corks of the champagne bottle. And that is how sabering first started.
It's incredible.
Isn't that cool?
It really is. It really is. And it's a great, it's something great to witness when I was watching you do it, because it sets the mood for the room.
It does.
And
yes.
it's a great entry point for any dinner party, if someone can do it, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, we've had a couple of events in the last about 3 weeks or so, where we had about 200 people in the audience, and it really is fun, like you say. It's a little bit of fanfare. And actually, it's really not that difficult to do either.
Yeah.
Stop giving away all our secrets. We want to impress people.
Okay, all right.
Now tell us a little bit about the agency that you work with.
Oh, so I work for an agency called Noble Estates Wines and Spirits. They're an Ontario-based agency that was created in 1990 by Philip and Deborah Mirabelli.
Yeah.
So we're based in Toronto, and we represent a variety of products, wines and spirits from around the world. One of them, of course, being Laurent Perrier. And so you'll see many of our products in restaurants and hotels throughout the city, and in the LCBO, of course.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Now there's another story. I believe that some people out there, many people out there believe that it was a very famous monk, Dom Perignon, that actually discovered champagne. I think having found that the fermentation had stopped, it got too cold, and then when it restarted, the bubbles were made, and it's like,
bubbles were
alas,
created.
then, you know, champagne.
That's
but
right.
apparently this is only folklore.
That's
this
right.
is not at all
That's
how
not
champagne
true?
was discovered.
I always thought that was the truth.
No, and it's true because a lot of people do think that, and
What
that
is the
true.
truth? Anyone know?
You know what? I don't know the truth, but I know he's not responsible for creating the champagne method that produces, you know, champagne.
So maybe what
Yeah.
we should do is explain what the champagne method is. That would be a good idea.
Okay.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
so the
just
champenoise, basically
Sure.
what it is, the traditional method essentially is you have the first fermentation, and then when you add the dosage and you get the secondary fermentation going on, you put a closure on the bottle, so that secondary fermentation takes place within the bottle.
Within the bottle.
And so the bubbles become very, very, very concentrated. I mean, there are other ways of making sparkling wine.
Sure.
But of course, champagne, this is why it is so expensive, because it's quite a ritual to actually make the champagne.
Now,
It's
I
a real-
wonder what is the pressure of a champagne bottle, too? Anybody have
You
any
know what?
ideas?
I'm not sure.
I think it's about 3 times the pressure in a standard tire, car tire. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, wow. Yes,
Yeah,
that would make
so-
sense because once you release the cork, well, you can see the pressure
Yes, exactly.
comes out. Absolutely.
Hence the cage on the bottle.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't even know how to properly open a bottle.
No, that's
true.
You know, where you're supposed to, it's not supposed to be a big dramatic pulling of the cork. It's supposed to be a
Right.
gentle twist of the bottle from the bottom. And it's funny, even just from a storing perspective, champagne is best stored on its side. And obviously in a cellar is ideal. If you are going to serve it in the fridge, you should have it in the fridge 3 hours prior to serving. But
Right.
typically it's best to keep it in the cellar.
And
Yes,
also
yes.
another thing about champagne is you serve it a lot colder than you would white wine.
Yes.
It's more like at 45 degrees, which is the proper temperature for champagne.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, you know
Why don't we
what?
try it?
Yes, I know. Well,
Sure.
you and I have tried it, but
But we should
Sure,
tell
yeah.
everybody what it
Sarah's-
tastes
Sarah's,
like.
Yes, here we go.
Well, cheers to National Champagne Day.
Cheers, ladies.
It's the fifth anniversary, is that, or third
Third.
anniversary?
It's the
Third
third
anniversary.
anniversary of Champagne
Happy birthday.
Day.
Happy birthday.
So maybe, Sarah, you can give us an idea and tell our audience what typically you find in this beautiful Laurent Perrier rosé.
You know what? Well, so firstly, when we're tasting it, we can just see from the color in the glass, it is, as I had mentioned, 100% Pinot Noir grape. So obviously the color comes from the contact of the skin. But the color in the glass is almost a salmon color.
Yes,
you can
beautiful.
see. It's gorgeous.
Very elegant.
Really, really elegant. And then when you're smelling the nose, it's very crisp. It's refreshing. You can smell dark berried fruits.
Yes, yeah.
Black cherries, raspberry, lovely. And then obviously once you take that first taste on your palate, those fruits really come alive.
They do.
And
And
it's
I
got
like
a
the
beautiful
refreshing
finish.
acidity too. It's like a new, your mouth is like alive and your palate is awoken
Yes.
with each sip. I
Very,
guess which
very-
is why it goes so well with salty foods too.
Yes.
You know, it sort of refreshes the palate, like the truffle popcorn, the potato
Absolutely.
chips.
I want to go where this truffled popcorn is. I've never had it before. Yes, please. No, and you know what else it's really, really good with is dark cherried desserts.
Oh, that
Uh-huh,
sounds
that
delicious.
sounds good.
Really,
yeah.
really good with that. But it's something very unique compared to other champagnes. It's got a really interesting taste profile.
Yes.
And people, once they try it, they love it.
And I think that Laurent Perrier was famous. There was something else that they did as well about the blending of different vintages. I think weren't they one of the first ones to do?
That's correct.
Something like
That's
that.
right.
That was
Yes.
the lady there at the head of the helm. who
Yes.
was a remarkable businesswoman.
She really was.
Yeah.
Which is great because the story has then kept the test of time where they still uphold to those standards even today.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think we should have another toast to Laurent Perrier, actually.
Sure.
And Sarah, for you for coming in and
Thank you so much for having me.
yeah, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
And after that, let's show moi savoring the champagne.
Yes.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers,
Happy
everyone.
National Champagne Day.
Happy National Champagne Day.